Here are a few of my thoughts on that guy, Prince Andrew. It was in 2001 that 17-year-old Virginia Roberts says she was flown to London and forced to have sex with Andrew at the home of billionaire Jeffrey Epstein's girl recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell. The King's disgraced younger sibling continues to vehemently deny that he ever met Ms. Roberts, who is now married and named Virginia Giuffre. Begging the question, why did he hand her a staggering $12 million to drop a civil case against him in New York? Made last February, it is that vast payment that has planted above Andrew's head the eternal cloud of disastrous doubt. Hands up, who believes the dubious Duke wrote a cheque for 12 mil to someone he insists he had never even clapped eyes upon? No, me neither. Despite his continued rebuttals, the man who was once nicknamed Randy Andy was instantly banned from frontline royal duties, axed by a shed-load of charities, kicked out by the 8 Army and RAF regiments lumbered with him as honorary commander, and was bluntly told, "Forget HRH, you are no longer His Royal Highness." The preposterous prince's downfall seemed as sudden as it was complete. But was it complete? Not according to the good people of the great city of York, who are still pleading for Andy to be stripped of his Duke of York title because they don't want to be associated with a fool who is in disgrace and always will be. The pressure on King Charles to ditch the Duke thing mounted when the Jeffrey Epstein files were finally released by a New York judge, and the charges against Andrew, including one that he took part in a depraved orgy with vulnerable underage sex slaves, became even more sordid. So sordid that the calls for him to be reduced to plain old Mr. Windsor are reaching a crescendo that many believe Charles simply cannot ignore. Ditto the Metropolitan Police, whose insistence that the case against Andrew is closed and there will be no investigation is looking flimsier by the day. There's a known accuser, a photograph of Andrew and Ms. Roberts at Maxwell's Knightsbridge Mews house that has been proved to be genuine, and the pervasive, unavoidable question, if you are innocent, why the hell pay the alleged victim $12 million? In the knowledge that Epstein's list of shame was about to be published, the King was naive to allow Andrew to attend church with the other royals on Christmas Day, and he must now take his brother's remaining title away. Meanwhile, if the cops don't open an official investigation like right now, the long-suffering British public might conclude that rotten royals get special treatment. And that would be wrong, wouldn't it, Daisy?
Well, can I just say, Kevin, that was beautifully delivered. Wasn't it?
Well, it was all right.
It was very professional.
No,
thank you very much, Daisy. Get out of the studio, you. It's good to have Daisy on board, proper journalist. You know. It might ruin the tone of the show, though. Seriously, it would be wrong for the police not to investigate him, wouldn't it?
They already have, and they're not going to. I feel sorry for Charles. I think that Charles is in a really, really difficult situation. And we know that Charles is a real sentimental, quite a kind of soppy softy. Unlike William, who's quite a ball breaker, actually. I think William would like to take Andrew out to the tower and chop his head off if he could.
He's a violent kid, William. As we know, he beat up Harry. He's a violent man.
It's just a joke. Your royal ship, or whatever you call yourself, your Royal Highness.
Your royal ship sailing away.
Yeah. Your royal ship. That's not what they call themselves, is it? JJ, the thing is, you see, these Epstein files have, I think, upped the ante a bit. I mean, people say, oh, they didn't take the story on. Well, they do. There are specific allegations. Now, when the police, the Met Police, they constantly say, you will be respected, rape victims will, we'll take you seriously, we will investigate. They'll do that on much less alleged evidence than there is against Andrew. As I said, there is an accuser, Virginia Giuffre. There's a photograph, which, by the way, has been proved to be genuine. There are specific allegations of what happened in Ghislaine Maxwell's house in 2001 when Andy and Virginia Giuffre were there. That surely, this isn't necessarily to say he's guilty. There's no lust to find him guilty. I think an improper police investigation might do him a favour.
But Virginia Giuffre has been bought off already, right? He's paid the $12 million.
In America.
In America. But maybe that covers her here as well. We don't know.
Not
know.
for criminal investigation.
Well, in any case, the reason that Andrew apparently paid that money is because his mum told him to. Apparently, his mum told him to settle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, who wouldn't do what?
Yeah, but that's a civil case. This is
fine.
The police. That's nothing to do with the police.
Has it not already been investigated? It's been investigated already, and they said they wouldn't continue the
No,
investigation.
wait a second. No, they said, "Oh, we've looked into this and we're not going to prosecute."
Yeah.
And I wonder why. Is it maybe, just maybe, because he's a member of the royal family? I don't know.
And actually, on JJ's point about Virginia Roberts Giuffre signing the sort of NDA that comes with the payoff, I think it only lasted for a year or 18 months. So it's coming up any minute now. She might be free to say what she wants. And as you said, the reason Mummy, the Queen, said, or actually the people around her said, get this sorted, was because the Jubilee was coming up. They didn't want it overshadowing the Jubilee. The Queen is now dead. Obviously the Jubilee, all of that is
spoiler alert.
It's spoiler alert. And I think that's probably a 12 million pretty badly spent.
Yeah, but to get rid of his Duke title, does anyone really care?
The Queen is Dead, wasn't that an album by the Smiths?
Yeah. And also, Kevin, these are just...
No, let's talk about
that. But they're just accusations. These are just accusations.
I care about the title.
You care about the title?
Yeah,
really?
I'd like it to be taken away from me. Good story.
You're petty. You're petty. That's what it is.
Story.
Well, I'm petty, but good story.
But Kevin, I think a lot of people care more about his big fat mansion that he lives in.
Yes.
Royal Lodge. I think that's the thing that people think. Why should he be in this 30-bedroom mansion in Windsor Great Park, but paid for by the royals? There's some argy-bargy about whether it's our money or the royal family. Either way, he doesn't need 30 bedrooms. He's got an empty nest.
Yeah,
totally.
True.
I just feel, I do think it was a big mistake by the King to allow him to join the royal family before Christmas, or the Christmas Day walk to the church, because of the image. And he milked it. He was going around it. Did you see him talking to the crowd? He's like, why do you all put these videos at me? Why do you take these pictures? Oh, I don't know. Because we've driven 100 miles to see the royal family. Thought we might take a picture of it. Not really a mystery, you moron.
The press and the public may turn up to that church, but it is still a private event. It's for the royal family. There's no way that Andrew's going to be shunned by the family behind closed doors.
Right, OK, let's... we've only got a few seconds before we go to a bad ad. Should he be stripped of his title?
No.
JJ?
They're just accusations. I've made accusations about you. You've not had your talk.
Crawl ass. Should the police open an investigation?
Yes.
No, thank you. Daisy, but same two questions. Should he be stripped of his title?
No.
A proper journalist.
Forelock toucher. And should the police open an investigation?
He should have his home taken away, which would hurt him a lot more, I think, than the title. A police investigation, I think that's a waste of police's money. They've already, as JJ said, they've already looked into it.
OK. I disagree. I want both. Just as a good story, great headlines, you know me. It's time for a bad ad.
Going to the bathroom in the middle of the night can really trip you up. Ladies hate when he goes with the seat down. He leaves the light off, but misses, makes a mess, and that could ruin everyone's night. What you need is Bowl Bright, the night light for your toilet bowl, so you're in control. Just enough light without having to turn on the dreaded wake-up light. Bowl Bright is battery-operated, fits any toilet bowl, no tools needed. Simply adhere to the back of the lid. Stays right where you put it, no matter how many times you open and close the lid. Bowl Bright provides perfect light for years and years.
How about Albright, a total piece of shit? Who needs that? Who needs that?
I'm stunned. I'm like a stunned mullet.
As we do these adverts, some of them are begging belief.
But also, I couldn't work out, does it come on automatically as you lift the lid up? Because there was one shot of somebody like pushing it, and I thought, well, you've got to push it. Imagine how unclean that would be.
And then also, then you take a piss, you piss all over it, and you get electrocuted. I mean, for God's sake, I don't want an Albright. What do they call it? Bog light.
Bowl Bright or whatever. Yeah.
Bowl Bright. Yeah. Unbelievable. I think actually we're moving straight on to another bad ad. I don't know why. It's a new system. Very exciting.
Making eggs makes a mess. They stick to the pan, they flop when you flip, and the yolks always drip. And after you cook them up, there's all that cleanup. What you need is the Rolly Eggmaster, the fast, easy, pan-free way to make perfect eggs every time. Just crack, pour, and Rolly Eggmaster pops up delicious eggs in minutes. It cooks your eggs just like a real pan, without all the butter, fat, and mess. Look at that. And what makes Rolly eggs really great is their new easy-to-eat shape. Make a delicious bacon and egg Rolly for breakfast, or a vegetable egg white Rolly for a healthy lunch.
Is that a scene from your house, Daisy? You making stuff for your kids there?
That actually was my house. Yeah, that was my kitchen.
And
Yeah.
the
I don't
Rolly
love a
egg
Rolly.
was JJ's Christmas present.
Yeah.
What about the
Vile.
yolk? What happened to the yolk? I mean,
It's
is it
in
all
there.
Yeah.
It's in there.
Yeah, but
It's like a
rock
hot dog.
hard.
Yeah.
Rock hard.
Oh, that is
It was
vile.
like an egg wiener.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes, yeah, perfect.
But it's like in America, there's all these people thinking, oh, there's a gap in the market. You know? There's a real gap in the market for rolled up eggs. No, there isn't. Nobody wants the Rolly egg or whatever it's called. All that bloody thing with the bog, the light in the bog at night. It's just unbelievable. We're going to go to a real break now. See you in a minute. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Oh, welcome back to the second part of the greatest television show ever made. What just happened with me, Kevin O'Sullivan, and with my very special guests, Daisy McAndrew and that other guy. What's your name? JJ and the COB. Both journalists, only one of them really is. Thank you for being here, Daisy. Here are some more of my very important thoughts. This is about the post office. Trapped in the vortex of the worst miscarriage of justice in British legal history, the poor victims of the post office scandal haven't had much to smile about for the best part of a quarter of a century. So, I hope they're enjoying the squirming discomfort of those who stand accused of presiding over untold anguish for hundreds of innocent people disgracefully convicted of crimes they did not commit. I'm talking about complacent bosses who refused to listen as traumatized sub-postmasters pleaded that something was seriously amiss. I'm talking about the then Post Office Chief Executive, Paula Venables, who apparently decided that 736 men and women were all lying because, of course, wait for it, computer says no. Computers right, human beings wrong. So prosecute them for theft, false accounting and fraud. More than 20 went to jail, including Seema Misra, sentenced to 15 months and locked up on her son's 10th birthday when she was 8 weeks pregnant. Unforgivable. It took 11 agonising years to clear her name. This swirling catastrophe of unfairness drove 4 people to suicide, bankrupted those who were massively fined and ordered to repay vast sums they had not stolen, and plunged others into deep depression, drug addiction and alcoholism. Happy marriages were wrecked and decent families destroyed on the altar of trumped-up accusations that should never have been levelled. As these rancid, empty cases continued to trial, the Post Office kept quiet about its concerns that the Horizon computer system was riddled with glitches. When that little detail emerged, 39 victims had their convictions overturned as the government desperately plays catch-up amid boiling national fury triggered by ITV's explosive drama Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. Efforts are underway to pardon everyone ruthlessly ruined by this epic scandal. The question is, who is responsible for the plight of the poor folk who suffered so severely at the hands of Britain's preposterous post office and the bullying tactics that forced the innocent to plead guilty in a desperate bid to stop the nightmare? They're out there, and the police must bring them to justice. We don't know Paula Venables' story because since quitting as the woman in charge, she has refused all requests for interviews. No one is accusing Ms. Venables of a crime. Perhaps she too was deceived, but surely she needs to be comprehensively investigated by the cops. In a preemptive strike after a 1 million+ petition demanding she was stripped of her CBE, she handed it back. About time. If that undeserved honour is all she loses, many believe she'll be getting off lightly. Meanwhile, despite refusing to meet campaigner Alan Bates when the horror of it all was unfolding, the then Post Office Minister, Sir Ed Davey, is taking a not-me-gov approach. According to the Lib Dem leader, everybody lied to him, so how was he to know? Hundreds of people pleading the precise same story, that it was the computer, not them, but Sir Ed, joining the establishment's chorus of disbelief. Ed, mate, you should have met Mr. Bates. Clearly, Dozy Davey took the wrong decision. However, being useless at your job is not a crime. But there are players in this shocking saga guilty of unconscionable crimes against traumatised sub-postmasters who did nothing wrong. Now, if British justice is to make amends, it's the cover-up crew's turn to be hauled into court. Let's throw the book at them. And when they get sent to prison, there will be no complaints, and there won't, will there, Daisy?
Wait, we're going to her first again.
Because
you were first last time.
I'm special.
You can leave, actually.
I might as well.
Yeah, cool. Get out of it. Seriously, I'll come to you in a minute, JJ. They should go to jail.
Yeah, but I totally take your point about Ed Davey. I think a lot of politicians did exactly the same as him. On Paula Venables, yes, she's given back her CBE. Who cares? I want to see her give back the £2.2 million bonus she got on top of her salary. I want to see Adam Crozier, her predecessor, be quizzed. There's so many other people.
Absolutely. I made this point earlier, JJ, that actually when she was sort of coerced into leaving the post office as this saga was unfolding, apart from that bonus, she walked away with a £5 million payoff. Mm-hmm. In the end, that's kind of public money. The government owns the post office. She should pay it back, right?
She should definitely pay it back. And I don't want to be the one to defend the Tories here, but Kevin Holloway, I'm always doing that now. Kevin Holloway has been doing great work to try and get the compensation paid out to people faster than anyone else.
And actually, James Arbuthnot, all those years ago, he was the original Tory MP who took up his constituents' case and has been fighting and banging his head against a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. But to do a mass pardon of the names, our justice system doesn't work that way. Every case has to be heard individually. This isn't a class action.
You can pass an act. You can pass an act.
But then that's a new legislation altogether, isn't it?
Yeah,
which at the moment we don't have. So unless that's going to happen, it's going to take time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it will, but I do think we need mass pardoning. These people, the kind of the injustice against them is just unbelievable, isn't it?
I think that's right, and I think a lot of these cases that we've all reported on in the past tend to be, a mass action, a group action against, let's say, Birmingham City Council for sexual discrimination. We've seen cases like that. This is not the same as that. Those people weren't getting as much money as somebody else, but they weren't victims of a crime that ruined their lives. They were victims of a bit of unfairness. Yeah. And I think people in the past thought this was similar. This was not similar. This was people dying, losing their homes, losing their marriages, losing their health. This is people who have really had their lives destroyed by what happened to them.
Reputations have been sullied. I said this the other day to you, Daisy, about my local Post guy, Graham. Started selling his wife Maureen's jewellery to pay for the deficit. And everyone in town knew about it, and everyone was like, oh, poor Maureen, but Graham did take that money, didn't he? Everyone presumed he'd taken it.
Really?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just so awful, isn't it? That cloud of suspicion, public odium that they didn't deserve. And, people killing themselves, marriages destroyed, people becoming alcoholics.
And Kevin, who else I want to see in the dock on this is the head of the union. George Thompson, I think, was his name, the head of the sub-postmasters union, who did absolutely sweet, funny Adams.
You can say fuck all.
You can say fuck all.
Did absolutely sweet fuck all.
Absolutely sweet fuck all.
He went to the select committee and said the post office is being honest and his own members were being dishonest. Yeah. He said that there was nothing wrong with Horizon.
Let me put another point to both of you. I think this essentially is the establishment in action. Look at Paula Venables. She left the post office under a cloud with an undeserved £5 million payoff, was immediately embraced by the warm comfort of the establishment. Oh, you can now be chair of the Imperial College NHS Trust and you can have a directorship with Morrison's and Denholm. That's the way it works. And what happened was someone somewhere in the post office, they knew that this Horizon system was crap. They knew it. That emerged after the court cases. They kept it quiet in the initial court cases. That's why those 39 cases were overturned and Venables had to go. Someone somewhere knew about this, and someone somewhere decided that the reputation of the post office was more important than these sub-postmasters, and they threw those poor bastards to the wolves. This story's been around for 25 years. I'm glad you're on board now, but in future, you know, read the papers, kind of keep up with things.
OK, but I'm going to say this was one of those stories. You know, I worked in a newsroom for a long time, so did both of you. It was quite hard sometimes to get this story onto a front page or onto a TV screen. You know, I watched a lot of my colleagues struggle with editors and saying, you know, this is a big story. And people thought, it's not very sexy. You know, it's difficult.
Got anything on Harry and Meghan?
You know, it's difficult to understand. It's difficult to sell. So I think we're all a bit culpable.
So all of us, let's be on alert in future for potential scandals, because we were a bit late on this one. We dropped the ball, and let's not do it again. Well done, ITV. Well done, you two. Now we're going to watch another bad ad.
Yay.
If you own an iPod, iPhone, or digital video player, then you need TV Hat. Private, portable, and hands-free. TV Hat provides a motion picture experience absolutely anywhere. TV Hat is the perfect exercise companion.
Look like a total wanker. I mean, was that early virtual reality or something?
But Kevin, you know the Wiener egg maker? That was my kitchen. Well, that was my body. That was me. That was me in the bikini.
That's you on your home gym.
Yeah.
With a huge thing. I
I
don't know when that dates back to, but
that's crazy. Why would you go to the beach and then say, I don't want to look at that actually, and put your phone in front of you like this? It's nonsense.
Yeah, on the beach. Huge thing. Why don't you take it off? Have a look at the palm tree.
Because then you can watch this show in full Technicolor.
That's right. Order them. Order them now.
Well, another great gap in the market there, but if you thought that ad was bad, have a look at this one.
Are you tired of taking your dog for a walk and picking up after their mess? Are you tired of using grocery bags or products that are heavy and not useful? It can get very messy when your pet goes in the house or on the sidewalk or even your neighbor's lawn. We have the answer for you. Introducing Poo Trap, an amazing new innovation that eliminates the need of picking up after your dog. Poo Trap is a unique new product that fits any size dog without any hassles, and your pets will love it too. It's easy to install on your dog and makes your walking experience fun. Walking your dog just got easier with a Poo Trap. No poops, no whoops.
So another product that's total shit, literally. And by the way, I don't know about your dog, Daisy, but if you try to put the Poo Trap on my dog, there'll be hell to pay.
Yeah, I mean, that really looked like another spoof. I know it wasn't, but no. I mean, Sparky would go nuts if he tried to attack.
Is it a colostomy bag? Is that what it's called?
Well, that's not a colostomy bag.
That's what it looks like. He walks around with it on.
That is the end of another sparkling edition of the world's greatest ever television programme. What just happened? Thank you to JJ and thank you to Daisy. What a show. Bye-bye. See you same time, same place next week. What just happened?